as we talk with local home service pros. Learn best practices for winterizing your home or what to look for after a hailstorm. Listen to the Yarlow Home Crin Show every Sunday at 2 p.m. or on your favorite podcast app.
Now at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, we have new Fireplace Extraordinaire hybrid fireplace inserts.
These wood-burning inserts are made in 2 sizes and 9 different designs to fit your existing fireplace and enhance your home's architecture. They not only feature a big, beautiful fire viewing area, they heat so efficiently that they qualify for a 30% tax credit, which can save you $2,000.
Advancing the art of fire is the motto of Fireplace Extraordinaire. For 30 years, the EPA has certified all wood-burning heaters for clean burning. But these new hybrids add a catalytic combustor. They burn even longer, more efficiently, and cleaner. To design these inserts to work well and look good is Fireplace Extraordinaire's Art of Fire.
At woodlandstoves.com, you can see the many options. Work with the chimney and installation experts. They not only install, but will guide you if you want to install yourself. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood, gas, and electric units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services.
Hey there, AM 950 community. Join me, J. Peter Bogosian, every Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m. for a double dose of queer joy. This Queer Book Saved My Life and The Gaily Show. These programs are a jubilant celebration of the transformative impact of queer literature and the dynamic spirit of LGBTQ plus culture and entertainment right here in Minnesota. Tune in and be a part of this vibrant community. For all the details, visit thisqueerbook.com and am950radio.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. A chance of snow today with a high of 34, then a better chance of snow tonight with a low of 32. Break out of that post-holiday funk with a delicious meal at an Eat Local Minnesota restaurant or cook something at home with an Eat Local Minnesota food purveyor. See the list of Eat Local Minnesota restaurants and food purveyors at eatlocalminnesota.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
From Japan, folding paper with her hand, singing songs of peace. Teaching the young, teaching the old, teaching the world how to fold paper cranes of peace. Fly now. There's a girl in the park.
Good morning and welcome to Connections Radio Show, where we talk about ideas that matter. I'm glad that you've made the connection and are with us today. I'm Lori Fitz, your host, and the goal of our show is to explore a wide range of topics that challenge us to see ourselves, our community, and the world around us in ways that get us thinking, get us talking, get us imagining, get us listening, get us connected, and perhaps inspired or challenged to do just a bit more because we've made the connection. So our topic today is it's January 6th. And this is a date that all of us will remember and all of us still are dealing with in terms of what does it mean in terms of democracy, peace, and freedom, and our future. And who better to explore that with us is Larry Long. Larry Long is a singer-songwriter, spoken word poet, educator, activist, storyteller, someone who's traveled around the world and tells the songs that allow us to imagine a better world. He is a troubadour in the true sense of the world. Rick Bernardo is with Larry Long in studio, and I am joining via the internet, and the beauty of that. COVID has hit me too, but I am in recovery, and I am joining the show via StreamYard. So welcome to all.
And thanks, Lori. And that song was a little bit, you know that, of Love Will Lay Hatred Down from the Sweet Thunder album we're going to be talking about today.
Absolutely. And Larry, you're going to be in a concert. You've got something coming up. Tell us about that.
Yes, I do. It's an American Roots Review concert. It's actually the 10th anniversary of American Roots Review. And I'm going to be performing with with gospel legend Robert Robinson. He's going to be a featured artist and singer, songwriter, and composer, film composer Barbara Cohn, a vocalist and keyboardist Billy Steele, Michael Bland, who's the drummer for Soul Asylum and was the drummer for Prince, celloist Jacqueline Alton, lead guitarist Jeremy Irvisacker, and my old buddy Phil and Pete Watercott is flying in from California with bassist Liz Draper and Alana Dickinson. And also J.D. Steele is going to be joining us as well.
Oh.
And because our beloved Tanya Hughes Kendrick, who was featured, her mother passed away this last week. And so gratefully J.D. is
condolences
stepping up, and it was through JD that I met Tanya Hughes Kendrick, and actually through JD we founded American Roots Review. So,
and this is going to be at the Dakota on the 13th
yeah.
on the evening, and there's the tickets at dakotacooks.com.
Yeah, that's right. And the people want to call in. It's 612-332-5299.
And really, one of the shows is almost just a few tickets left, and there's a 6:30 and an 8:30.
Right,
6:30,
8:30.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to being there. I love music, and I love live music, and especially the kind that you hang with. And so,
well, thank you.
And I don't treat myself to that enough.
Larry, the song that led us into the show today, "Love Will Lay Hatred Down." Tell me a little bit about what inspired you to create that song.
Well, the verse that you just played was inspired by a woman who's a survivor from Hiroshima and Nagasaki, from the nuclear blast of World War II. And I was actually at a United Nations function in Finland and performing. And I walked down the stairs of this very large a convention building, and there was this woman from Japan who was seated making peace cranes, with origami, and she was making peace cranes inside of a circle of photographs that showed the devastation of that nuclear blast. But she had such a beautiful, kind energy about her, and I walked in, and she just passed over some paper, origami paper, and I sat with her for several hours until I could make peace crayons. And so that first verse was a gift to her. She was traveling the world for nuclear disarmament. And then the second part of that verse was inspired by a young girl in La Crosse, Wisconsin, who on Hiroshima Nagasaki Day, she had organized the community of La Crosse to float peace lanterns out on the Mississippi River by night, and hundreds of peace lanterns with prayers for peace and nuclear disarmament. And so in that same spirit. And then the chorus to the song comes from an indigenous prayer that I rearranged, beauty before, beauty behind, beauty above, beauty below, beauty all around. And then I added the line to it, love will lay hatred down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking it sounded like an indigenous prayer with it giving praise from above and below, and then the four directions being part of that interwoven.
Yes.
There's so many circles in indigenous, all kinds of tribal patterns of living, the architectures, the political structures are more built on circles than hierarchies. And it comes up a lot in policy discussions in my ethics courses. Actually, just the movements through history of how you can arrange things socially and realistically and practically. It's fascinating.
It's a very democratic form of building community where everybody's voice is heard within the circle. And it is non-patriarchal and hierarchical.
That's
It's
why
not,
that stands out even in medieval legend, the round table, the King Arthur's round table. That stands out because it's like nothing else was like circles. It was just like, you're the peons, you're going to live and die. We're going to be here in the castle.
Larry, as
Yeah.
you're thinking about this being January 6th and love laying hatred down, how does it hit you that, a few years ago we had an insurrection at our Capitol? And it strikes me in thinking about the pain that woman had in making the origami coming from, the devastation she faced and how she approached peace. Is there some suggestions you can give to us in how we can approach this year coming up, this being our kickoff for our 2024, and knowing that this is January 6th, where we faced such a pain in our nation before? What musical insight can you give us to be looking to gain that sense of peace and to share that sense of peace with others?
I would say always be wary of anyone who's trying to motivate others around fear, and that mobilizes people around their worst fears versus those that are speaking on behalf of what we love and the world we're striving for the generations to come. Obviously, the leadership of what happened from the former president, which I hope and pray he's not allowed to return to the White House, is that he mobilized some pretty good people that around fear and conspiracy, and out of that fear created hatred and anger and vengeance in a way that was so distorted and such a violation of the very foundation of what we strive for as a democratic country. And I really think that any way that we can build bridges between other people that even don't share the same views that we have, but that we don't isolate ourselves even within the progressive community, that we really move out and we build relationships. And I think it's through relationships the world gets changed, and whatever fears we have tend to get broken. At least I have found in my life, when I reach out to people who are different than I, and I begin to hear their story and listen to what they have to say, and then to encourage them as well to not be motivated by their fears, but by what they believe in and they hold true within the core values of love.
And that is so beautifully expressed in your song about how to lay hatred down through love and through peaceful ways. It's the connection. It comes back to, what we've always talked about with Connections Radio Show. What is it that connects us versus separates us? What creates the us versus the us and them?
What do you reflect upon, Lori, in terms of January 6th?
I feel so much pain that mostly I think about the police that were there that were trying to save our democracy and what they went through. And when there is a denial that it was real, and knowing what they tried to do to keep it secure, and their anguish, I want to open my heart to those that defended our Capitol and defended our ability to be able to put our president in place in a peaceful way. I want that story to be heard and felt, because you can't, if you take that in, it's hard to say that it was just a peaceful gathering that got out of hand. No, it was more than that. And we need to be open to loving everyone, even the people that went to the Capitol, as you said, and hoping to bring them into the fold of something bigger and brighter and better than smashing and grabbing and creating such a mess that tried to keep our president from, being duly elected president into for our country. There was no peaceful transition. We need to get back to having a peaceful transition.
And I know we got to go, but I just want to remind our listeners that love does not mean necessarily tolerating harm to people.
Right. There's such a thing called hard love.
Well, love could be hard if you really
and then in
go
fact,
to the mat.
And there's consequences to actions, and when I hear this individual talking about on his first day when he comes in office, pardoning those who actually took the lives and of those who are actually trying to protect our country, it's under the umbrella that he's somehow a law and order president. It's very vile, and
in our next segment, I'd like to talk about that sense of truth. I mean, that seems to be some of the problem too. Is what is the truth?
Yeah,
and how do we get to the truth through love? And with that, I'm going to have Patrick go ahead and play the next segment in Love Will Lay Hatred Down, and then we'll go to break.
She lights a candle in the dark, hoping that it will spark peace the world around. Beauty before.
Temperatures are cooling off and fall migration is underway. Do you know what that means? Eagle viewing season is almost here, and the National Eagle Center is your headquarters for information and experiences. This winter, experience bald and golden eagles in the wild with an unforgettable expert-led field trip. Plan your private eagle habitat tour and learn where the best eagle viewing is with weekly eagle counts. Plus, you can visit the eagles at the center all season long. Plan your visit or experience today online at nationaleaglecenter.org.
Hi, I'm Mary T, inviting you to experience our integrative Mary T Health and Wellness Center, offering physical, occupational, speech, and lymphedema therapies. Experience our guided imagery, meditation, Tibetan medicine, dry needling, massage services, including cupping and oncology massage. Sign up for our free wellness screenings and learn more at marytwellness.com. All major health insurance providers are accepted. Come for therapy, experience wellness.
Minnesotans are hardy. We don't let snow or ice get in our way. We have places to go, so making sure your vehicle is in prime shape for winter driving is so important. Take your vehicle to Rudy Luther Toyota for all your service needs. I was just there. I got my oil and filters replaced, and they did a complete safety check to make sure my vehicle can tackle what winter has up its sleeve. And they service all makes and models of vehicles. Head to RudyLutherToyota.com and use their super easy Toyota service scheduler to set up your service appointment today. Rudy Luther Toyota on the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Hey, it's Patrick. The holidays are finally over and life is returning to normal. Except now you're noticing all those stains left on the carpet from the holiday company. So it's time to call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res. The new year is here and it's time to take advantage of Zero Res's best deal of the year. Carpets, tiles, rugs, upholstery, basically every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. And don't forget about your air ducts to alleviate allergies and asthma and improve air quality in your home during these long winter days. Don't DIY it. Call Zero Res because you know they're safe and effective. The gotta love it guarantee makes it easy to get what you pay for. Zero Res absolutely stands behind every cleaning. This month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $119 and take an extra $75 off when you get your air duct Zero Res clean. Schedule your appointment today. Go to ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZERO-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. Zero Res.
So, who's going to do what? Flashlights?
Nowhere to be found.
Emergency supply kits?
Not packed.
What about blankets?
We have an old towel.
Cell phones?
May not work.
Emergency water?
Not a drop.
Perfect. We all know where we're meeting if we're separated.
The library. On Jones House. The bus stop.
And I'll be waiting here wondering where you all are. Great. It sounds like we don't have a plan.
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Beauty above, beauty below. beauty all around. Love will lay hatred down, beauty before, beauty behind, beauty above, beauty below, beauty all around. Love will lay hatred down.
Welcome back to Connections Radio Show. And you're listening to Larry Long, a troubadour extraordinaire who's joining us today on the show. Rick Bernardo is my co-host and is at the host today position because I am not. I am joining via the glory of internet and StreamYard. And am delighted to be able to still connect and be part of the show today. That music you were hearing, Beauty Above, Beauty Below, How to Love and Lay Hatred Down. We were talking in our first segment about January 6th and how to lay hatred down and how to connect with love. And this is a song that Larry has written. Tell us, for those that are just joining us, tell us a little bit how you developed the song and why it's so important for today.
I mean, the song was also inspired during a time of great hope. It was during the time of perestroika and glasnost in the former Soviet Union and Gorbachev, and during that period of time, I was on a Soviet American peace cruise down the entire Mississippi and down the Volga River, and I was able to go to the Ukraine and Russia and travel all the way down to New Orleans from St. Paul in a boat filled with cosmonauts and
Awesome.
and laity and clergy and culture workers and people involved in the peace movement here and over there. And there was a great sense of hope at that time because things had broken down. And now we've returned once again to the same sort of Cold War politics with the horrendous bombing of the Ukraine by Putin and the terrible bombing that we're seeing now in the Middle East. And I've been thinking to myself, when people say ceasefire in Israel, I want them to say in the same breath, ceasefire in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
Ceasefire world around. And I've often thought, like when 9/11 happened, instead of dropping bombs, what if we would have parachuted in orchestras and instruments and painters and singers into Afghanistan and educators, and instead of bombs, medical people, and showed a sign of goodwill versus vengeance, and the whole thing of the need of some level of mercy, not responding so quickly with rage and anger, but to really reflect upon the actions that we do, so we just don't continue this barbarism that we're seeing now.
So,
Yeah.
In extreme situations, it's hard to remember that. We want to take some radical action in response to that, and I think it can be important to remember that radical really means rooted. And so radical action can be appropriate, but where is it rooted? That is key. Are our roots in beauty and love and peace, or are they in just like butchering people? And that's a really stark difference.
When you were going down the river and you were making friends and looking at hope and peace, what was the central hope that you believed could be accomplished in bringing that group together that were so dedicated to peace, that you could recall to give us that same sense of hope in moving forward?
What was amazing on that peace cruise down the Mississippi River and the Volga is that as we went down the Mississippi River, and people learned that there was actually going to be real Russians and Ukrainians and Latvians on a boat with government people and laity from both sides. That actually, as we came into Dubuque, Iowa, there were church choirs singing on both sides of the river, singing peace songs, and it was like there was an outpouring of incredible love, because for so long, this tension of them being our enemy and us being theirs, it was broken. All of a sudden, there was this hope, and with that hope, joy bubbled up. It was almost like I felt like I was one of the Beatles when we went through went through locks and dams, and I have all this in photographs. I photographed the whole thing, and people just with love in their hearts and flowers, throwing flowers onto the boat, and then us throwing flowers back, and people singing and rejoicing, and I would come off it was the Delta Queen that we were on. And when I came off the Delta Queen, I would be playing my guitar, singing, and there was a Ukrainian folk artist who was singing with me, and I was singing with her. And it was all of this incredible love and camaraderie. But and it was the same thing over on the Volga River as well. People in Russia and Ukraine came up with tears in their eyes, crying and giving us gifts, and just rejoicing in the fact that maybe at last the war is over, maybe at last peace is possible. And it was pure bliss. And the Soviet American peace cruise happened over a 3-year period. We went different legs of both rivers at different times. And I ended up touring over there with Chris Christopherson at that time too, and we stayed in Hotel Rosia, which was right next to Red Square, and so it was extraordinary.
Well, that is a perfect, I think, segue into hearing the verse about the Red Square, and I'm going to have Patrick play that. And then in the next segment, we'll do a little bit about the Boise verse that I want to learn about as well. So we'll go to break by listening to the Red Square stanza.
Passions to share with the one he's holding tonight. Kremlin wall, Lenin's tomb, change of the god, iridescent moon, singing a song of love. Beauty before, beauty behind, beauty above.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
No matter if you're eating out or cooking something at home, EatLocalMinnesota.com has you covered with a list of locally owned restaurants and food purveyors. Locally owned Vinaigrette has been offering the finest olive oil and vinegar since 2009. Reintroduce yourself to all the many flavors by tasting before you buy. From darker white balsamic to cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil from all over the world, there is something for everyone. Vinaigrette, located at 50th and Xerxes in Minneapolis, or at vinaigrettemn.com. The Park Tavern is your go-to destination for fun. Enjoy the fantastic food like their pizzas, burgers, and sandwiches, the best bowling in Minnesota, their wildly popular outdoor patio, great drink specials, all the big games on their numerous screens, and it's the perfect place for your next private event, even large gatherings for over 200. The Park Tavern is your go-to destination for everyone. Have fun at the Park Tavern, Louisiana Avenue, north of Highway 7 in St. Louis Park.
Winter is here, and there's a good chance your home isn't being heated efficiently. And it's likely because of air sealing and insulation problems. Inadequate attic insulation is the leading contributor to high energy bills, cold rooms, and ice dams. Great news, the energy-efficient pros at Snap Construction can fix it all. Stop the heat from leaking out and save. Call 612-333-SNAP or visit snapconstruction.com for your free infrared energy inspection. Install with Snap Construction and qualify for over $750 in rebates and incentives. State and city programs are now offering 0% financing for qualifying insulation upgrades. So call Snap Construction for your free insulation energy consultation and start saving on your energy bills. Call 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP. Or visit snapconstruction.com. Snap Construction is arguably the most well-reviewed insulation and exterior contractor in the metro area.
I'm the host of Exploring Sovereignty with Elizabeth. In this radio show and podcast, we have conversations with heart-centered thought leaders to explore their pathway to becoming free, and we will shine a light on what has been hidden, often in plain sight, what they pay attention to, and how it has transformed them and others into a higher level thinking and feeling state during this time of great change. Explore being consciously aware, authentically free, and courageously sovereign with us. Sundays at 11 a.m. on AM 950, and check out our early release episodes that drop Thursdays on your favorite podcast apps.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. A chance of snow today with a high of 34, then a better chance of snow tonight with a low of 32. Break out of that post-holiday funk with a delicious meal at an Eat Local Minnesota restaurant, or cook something at home with an Eat Local Minnesota food purveyor. See the list of Eat Local Minnesota restaurants and food purveyors at eatlocalminnesota.com. You're listening to AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
One stitch at a time, from many old designs, a symbol of a world that must come. We will stitch this world together, yeah. Don't give up, my friend, my love. Beauty before, beauty behind.
Welcome back to Connections Radio Show, where we talk about ideas that matter. I'm Lori Fitz, your host. Larry Long is joining us today, and that was his piece, Love Will Lay Hatred Down. Rick Bernardo, my co-host, is at the helm today, and I am supporting via the magic of StreamYard, and I'm on internet, bringing us all together.
And Lori, just to recap, that was Love Will Lay Hatred Down from Sweet Thunder. I know you mentioned that before, but if you're just joining us, and Larry Long's website, larrylong.org. It's a great place to go for all kinds of connections and events going on with Larry.
And I should mention that this was just put out for the first time on digital distribution on Spotify, etc., through Rock the Cause.
I was going to mention that as well. Oh, well, yeah.
And it's a new release. These songs never been up on these digital platforms through Sony and Orchard, and with a lot of
awesome.
Respect for Scott Harold.
I was going to say a shout out to Scott Harold, and irockthecause.org is that website. But there's all these connections, and these days to really be in the swing of beautiful things and music, both those websites are good to check out.
And on this particular song, it was produced by Billy Peterson of the Peterson family, and singing harmony with me is Claudia Schmidt and Michael Johnson on guitar, Dave Carr on flute, and Bruce Curnow on harp.
And it's such an inspiring song, how to lay hatred down. and love can make it happen. Tell me about this particular stanza about the stitch, the woman in Boise.
There was the Boise peace quilt from Boise, Idaho. That was and the Boise peace quilt, I believe, has an image of the Gaffney Clearwater sloop, and that Pete Seeger, him and his wife lived along the Hudson River, and him with hundreds, if not thousands, of volunteers campaigned, and the organization is still campaigning to clean up the waters of the Hudson. And anyway, it's such a beautiful quilt, and it was given to Pete for his years and years of work, working for peace as a singer and a writer and a peace activist. And as I was looking at that quilt, I was just thinking, it's just one stitch at a time. And out of that creates this incredible, beautiful piece of art. And it became a bit of a metaphor for what it is that we do together collectively. Because we need each other as part of this will of humanity. I feel that we're each called to do something, and each of us have to find out what that calling is. And if you do follow that calling, you're then part of this great wheel of kind of fulfilling, a better future and destiny for this earth and our children and all creatures who inhabit it.
And when we find our purpose, it does give us joy. So it allows us to feel more connected and to contribute and to create something more, something special, something.
It's an incredible burden too. I mean, it's like this song. This song it came out of probably my own fears, my own anger about the way the world has turned, and I wanted to find a way to respond to that in a positive way, and to focus on the cup half full and not the cup half empty, and so that is the gift of creativity. It's as much about myself, trying to be at peace with my own inner turmoil, the world around me, to remind myself how it is that I want to be, and do my best to act upon that higher good.
Well, it's always such a great way to take the energy we're kind of that comes over us, and do something with it. Neil Young said in this interview years ago, this was his experience. He said, all this stuff comes to us, it seems like from some other place, and all we can do is wait for it with open arms and turn it around and do something good with it. And that just moves me. And that's what we're talking about here. It's all we can do, but it's a great, meaningful thing to be able to do.
Well, it's even this conversation we're having, because I didn't really know where we were going to go in this conversation, but we're on that journey together. Having no idea what's going to come out of my mouth next.
Walk of faith. It's the talk of faith. How's that? Well, I also wanted, now that we're also talking about bringing people together and making a difference and seeing where it takes us, live at the Dakota. I know that we mentioned this at the top of the show, but I also wanted to bring it back here too. Live at the Dakota, the American Roots Review is going to be on January 13th, 2024. That's this year. It's coming up. 6:30 and 8:30 shows. The 8:30 has a few more than the 6:30, but if you want to go to the 6:30, there are a few left. You want to share a little bit about this time that you're going to be having on January 13th?
Well, American Roots Review is it's, the band's absolutely incredible, and it's everything from rhythm and blues to soul to gospel to folk to old time fiddle tunes to indigenous Anishinaabe Ojibwe songs, songs out of the civil rights movement from Robert Robertson. So it's a musical journey between multiple cultures and multiple musical styles, and the stage reflects in many ways the kind of world we envision, a world of celebration of diversity and the celebration of joy, and also to reflect upon just the common good and just having fun. I mean, it's a joyous concert. There's 11 people in the band. So we have keyboards and electric guitar and acoustic stuff and a lot of harmony. So it's fun. It's going to be a really joyous gathering. And I really urge people to come on out. I only organize this about once a year. And this is the 10th year of doing it.
I was going to ask you that if this is something that you do annually, or and are the same people that come back every year, or is there a little bit different every year?
No, it's a changing format. I mean, there's people that have never been on the show before, including Barbara Cohn and Jacqueline Alton and Jeremy Ivasaka and Liz Draper and Fiddlin' Pete. They've never been on this show before, but Robert Robertson tends to be on most of them, and also I always try to bring in either JD or Tanya Hughes Kendrick. But it's a rotating cast of characters, and every time I do it, when I'm in the midst of it, like now, I say to myself, I'm never going to do this again. It's so much work. But then when the show happens, there's such joy, and also the joy of community, because American Roots Review brings together people that quite often don't see each other for another year, and then new folks, and it's really community building. And then when it's all over, I go, dang, I'm going to do it again.
You know what, Larry? So I've heard those exact words from new mothers. Number one, I'm never, the night before, I'm never going to do this again. And then the next afterwards,
So it sounds like Larry's got like 10 kids of these concerts.
Well, I guess it refers to like the labor of love.
Yes.
The labor of love.
Yes, it is. So Larry, have you worked with each of these people? Or do you ever invite a group that you've never worked with, or have you had some working relationship with all the people that you invite?
Well, I've never worked with Liz Draper or Jeremy, or I have worked with Jacqueline Alton. I've never worked with Barbara Cohn. So yes, we do bring in people. We had Dave Perner from Soul Asylum that sang one year, and Guy Davis, whose father, Ozzie Davis, I flew in from New York, a great blues singer and a blues artist. We had Haley Bonner come in, Chastity Brown, a wide assortment of people of different generations. So, yeah, and it moves with intentionality of diversity of both complexion and also musical formats. So that's done with intentionality. And the songs that we do is that the featured artists, they choose the songs that they want to do, but it's within a selection process. Each artist will send me 3 to 5 songs, and out of that, themes begin to build, and out of those themes, we then figure out which of those songs they want to sing will be the songs that we do that night.
Do you
So
practice?
it's a very collective process. Yeah.
Do you practice beforehand, or do you just you hone down what the songs are, and then when you get together, it just happens?
I'm laughing because, before I came to this show, I went into our shared Dropbox folder, where all the songs are placed in Dropbox, and everybody downloads that with the charts and the chords, and in this coming week, we have a vocal rehearsal on Monday, and then 2 full band rehearsals on Wednesday and Thursday, and then the day of the show, the sound check, and then we do another run through before the 2 concerts. So we get down on it.
Yeah, get down on it.
Well, with having you get down on it, we're gonna hear one more song, and going into break here. And we'll come back in the 4th segment and share a little bit more about that. But we're going to be going on the road to freedom right now.
surely change. Flesh will go, but the heart remains. We all ride a single train. It's life's only road to freedom. With each mile that we go, listening to that whistle blow, the more we hear, the more we know we're on that road to freedom. We're on that road to freedom. Yes, we're on that road to freedom. We have been.
Now at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, the new Lopi hybrid wood stoves.
Lopi wood-burning stoves in sizes and designs to fit your heating need and style choice. They not only feature a big, beautiful fire viewing area, they heat so efficiently that they qualify for the 30% tax credit. With this federal tax credit, you can earn $2,000 when you install efficient wood heating.
Lopi advances the technology of wood burning. EPA certified for clean burning, these new hybrids include refined catalytic combustor design. They burn not only cleaner, but longer and more efficiently. Lopi brings heating with wood into the 21st century.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has been selling wood-burning products since 1977. We want to make fire work for you. Let us show you how Lopi wood-burning stoves can work in your home.
Get in touch with the folks at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. They are the chimney and insulation experts. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood, gas, and electric units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis.
The AM 950 2024 calendar is here, and we have a brand new thank you you're going to love. A meet and greet with me, Matt McNeil, and other hosts from AM 950. Become a sustaining member of AM 950 with a recurring monthly payment of $50 or more, or make a one-time membership donation of $250 or more, and not only will you receive the AM 950 calendar and the AM 950 tote bag as a thank you, but you'll also be invited to an exclusive thank you, the meet and greet. For more details or to sign up to become a member, go to am950radio.com. That's am950radio.com.
Did you know Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken airs 5 nights a week at 10 p.m.? That's 5 nights of talking about ghosts, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. We're talking about the paranormal every Monday through Friday with some of the most trusted names in the field. Join us and step into the unknown with Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken, Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. Only if you dare.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey Twin Cities, it's Andy Otto with Twin Cities Pride. I have some exciting news. We have our own show coming to AM 950, Twin Cities Pride Amplified. Each week, tune in to explore the vibrant world of LGBTQ rights, culture, health, and local events. Allies, we want you to listen too. Pride isn't just the month of June, it's the entire year, and so is our show. Twin Cities Pride Amplified debuts on AM 950 on January 6th and airs Saturdays at 3 p.m. See you on the 6th.
Walls can't hold what love won't hide. Papers talk, powers lie. People, we know that road to freedom. Yes, we're on that road to freedom. Yes, we're on that road to freedom. While the world splits in two, talk of war or we'll lose. Let us sing, let us choose to bridge the walls to freedom.
Welcome back to Connections Radio Show, where we want to be back on the road to freedom. Larry Long, thank you so much for bringing your music, your insight, and your time with us today. Rick, thank you for all your organization that pulls us all together as we come together via the internet.
Yeah, it's a miracle.
With my StreamYard connection. Connections keeps getting wider. But what a beautiful song, Larry, to have us be thinking about what's the bridge that we need to have to freedom. And what a beautiful way to think about the year ahead, especially on January 6th. What do we need to do to bridge the freedom?
And, you know, I got to say, music, a number of people have said music is prayer with wings. It's so many other things as well. It's so powerful. And not just the words of that song and other songs too, but this one in particular moved me as I was listening to it on the way here again. It occurred to me, it's not just the words. It's more like there's all of a sudden my breathing and my body is saying, let's get with it. And whatever it is, there's an energy and an intention that's operating on different levels. It's just like that's why I love music.
The singing with me on that song is Michael Johnson, and the late Michael Johnson, and he's from Minnesota, and he actually he lived outside of Minneapolis, and what a beautiful voice Michael has. He was a pretty well-known singer in the country field, but his virtuosity on guitar and his voice extended far beyond that.
Wow.
So we miss Michael.
And Lori, just before I forget, also Larry's going to be on 6 o'clock tonight, Paul Metz's Wall of Power program. So just for more, are you talking about some of this the show coming up? And
some of it, but a little different. But
okay.
Okay. But I just thought, I started laughing. Walls of Power, and the lyric to the song, it's to bridge the walls to freedom. And so,
yeah, it's okay. Walls go up, walls come down.
Well, we're sort of a companion piece to make sure that the full meaning it comes to full power. How's that?
I really appreciate Paul. He does good work
for a long time.
10 years. This is the 10th year anniversary of his show.
Oh,
yeah.
It's older than that's younger than me, but it's a long time.
Rick,
right.
Rick,
it's 7 times younger than me.
Rick, will you be sure to share how people can get tickets to the show coming up on January 13th?
Yeah, this is the American Roots Review, January 13th. Dakota Cooks, just 2 words, no spaces, dakotacooks.com, because it's at the Dakota Club, and 612-332-5299. Once again, that number, 612-339-5299. That's the Dakota phone number for tickets. The 8:30 show has more tickets, but squeeze in wherever you can. It's going to be beautiful.
We're both going to try and make it there, Larry. We
Oh, thank you.
Well, how could we resist coming to such a beautiful extravaganza of good music, and what a great way to start the year in particularly one that's going to be a tough one, with love and peace and multicultural and good thoughts for the future, and how do we all come together and get connected?
And we just got about 1 more minute, right? So how do we want to
one lyric to
off?
the song is people you know that road to freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those roads to freedom is to get out and vote. And not only just to get out and vote, but actually be really active this year in order to stand up for those things that you believe in and that you hold close and with value.
There's one other encouragement I have. Not only do you vote, but find one person who might not think that they're going to vote and help them vote. Get them out there voting too. Do
Thank
a +1. Get your vote +1 because we need it this year.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for having me. It's always a joy to be with you.
Here's more of Larry's song, LarryLong.org.
Always a joy to have you, Larry.
On that road to freedom.
With 2024 here, reserve space for your gathering, either for family, friends, work, or belated holiday get-together.